Have you ever felt like you were being attacked, but it turned out that it was just your ego being defensive? Or you pulled away from a conversation that just felt a bit too close? But that's not weakness. That's your ego trying to keep you safe. But the real danger isn't out there. It's what we think it means about us. The ego often gets a bad rap, but we all have one, and we all need it. It's not just about arrogance or pride. At its core, the ego is our sense of self. It helps us know who we are. It gives us structure and continuity in a complex world. But it also makes us vulnerable, because anything that feels like a threat to that identity can send us into defense mode. There are three big reasons our egos step in to protect our sense of self. Number one is when our identity is a source of safety. The ego holds our story of who we are, our values, our roles, our beliefs, and our accomplishments. And when that story is questioned or shaken, the ego reacts as if we ourselves are under threat. Our ego is protecting us, or better yet, it's protecting who we think we are. Second is fear of shame. Often our ego protects us to avoid shame, not just embarrassment, but the deep fear that we're not good enough, not smart enough, and not worthy enough. Our ego becomes the shield against shame. Number three, we've been hurt. If we've been judged or judged ourselves, criticized or dismissed, our ego builds armor. And that armor says, we won't let that happen again. So even minor feedback or disagreements can feel like an attack. Here's how we try to protect our sense of self. Most of us use a few well-practiced strategies. Defensiveness. We push back before we even hear the other person out. We blame. We shift the spotlight so we don't have to look at ourselves. We withdraw. We go quiet. We shut down or disappear emotionally. Overcompensation. We puff up our credentials, our achievements, prove our worth. People pleasing. We try to be like so we won't have to face rejection. But all of these are reactions to the fear of injury to our sense of self. They look like strength or survival, but they come from fear. Here's the problem when our ego is overprotecting our sense of identity. When the ego guards us too fiercely, we miss out on growth and lose our ability to learn. We can't take in feedback. We can't admit we're wrong. We confuse criticism with condemnation. And worst of all, we do completely lose our ability to learn. Learning requires the willingness to be seen as unfinished, incomplete, imperfect, and in progress. But that can feel terrifying to an unsteady ego. Here's how to work with the ego instead of against it. First, build inner stability. The stronger our sense of inner worth, the less it needs constant protection. When we know we're enough, even failure doesn't feel like a threat. Number two, separate the event from our identity. Making a mistake doesn't mean you are a mistake. Feedback about your work isn't feedback about your worth. And losing certainly does not mean that you're a loser. Three, name what's happening. When you feel yourself tightening up and getting defensive, ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened right now? Just naming the ego's reason for its flare-up can help you soften its grip. Number four, welcome discomfort as a teacher. Discomfort often signals that the ego is stretching, but that's not failure, that's growth. 5, treat the ego like a child you love. You don't scold it or try to destroy it. You reassure it. You say, we're safe, we're okay, And we're learning. We don't need to kill the ego. We need to care for it. Then it won't jump to protect you from every imagined threat. The more we understand the need behind the defense, the more compassion we can offer ourselves, and the more freedom we gain in return. The goal isn't to have no ego. The goal is to have one that's strong enough to handle challenge and flexible enough to grow. So next time you feel the pang of defensiveness, pause. Ask yourself, what is my ego trying to protect right now? And is there a way to support it without closing off? Let's work with the ego, not against it. If this helped you see your own reactions in a new light, share it with someone else who might need it too. And if you found ways to tend to your ego with care and grace, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. See you next time.